get this question all the time too. I don't understand what the VA says versus VA does. Well, I do. So the VA says a lot. And I'm not just talking about the VA. The VA is a primary problem here, but it is the government at large. But the VA is definitely the one who says a lot of bullshit. But and I know there's a lot of even veteran professionals out there who are trying to say, well, I'm reading into this manual and I'm reading into this future tea leaves. Guys, the government is not going to come out and tell you what they're going to do outside of like future pay raises and all that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of fucking tripwires and let's get you into mental minefield this and slow you down and all this kind of stuff. So I know people read these congressional reports. Oh, the government's going to screw the veterans. Oh God, it's going to be a World War III and Civil War is coming, and it never happens. The point of that bullshit is to get you to delay. When you delay, you lose your money. When you delay, you lose your money. That's why I said in video number 1, pay yourself first. So make sure you always go watch video number 1. I'm going to end with that every time too. But I want to focus on this. There's what the VA says and what the VA does. And what the VA does, what that means to me is what they pay for. So you can look in your bank account and go, okay, what's that from? What does that do? And what does that create? Do I need to do this, then do this? Yes, I've explained that in a previous video. So if I'm confusing you, I'm sorry. I'm just giving you a little more detail here. So there's what the VA says and what the VA does. That's why you don't hear me spewing out form numbers and book titles and all this kind of stuff. The government is always changing, especially the VA. The VA said for the past 6+ years that they're going away from e-benefits and over to va.gov. But they're also, at the same time, guys, they're still the government. So that means that they're moving slow. It's rickety. It takes decades. And all the time, haven't you been told? I was told this 6 years ago when I was on the phone with the VA. And every time the VA, somebody, every single week, a client of mine goes, oh yeah, but the VA told me this week that they're still going away. They're going away from the e-benefits. Okay. They've been going away from it for 6 years that I've known of. And so again, there's what the VA says and what the VA does. And I think it's just another fucking delay tactic to get you to think, well, maybe next year is going to be easier. No, it's not. No big change is going to be said. It's just going to be done. I'll give you two major examples. One was COVID. There was a July a couple years ago where, from my perspective, there was a complete shutdown. And nobody knew anything. Nobody knew what was going on. There was just this complete shutdown on the inside of the VA system. And you probably didn't hear about it. You may not have felt it yourself, but trust me, other people felt it. If you recall, before the timeline, before COVID hit, the claim timeline was about 4 months, maybe 6 months. You could fully complete a claim, start to finish. Now it's hovering around a year. 10 months now post-COVID is pretty standard. If you do it faster than that, that's terrific. But if it's 10 months, 12 months, getting in past a year, that's pretty standard now. So that's one major change that happened. Another one is as of 2024, that the VA has their claims online. And hell, I can go to an even easier example. On e-benefits, you used to be able to go to just your dashboard that would have like Albert Winks, here's your disabled, blah, blah, blah. And it would say, click here to start a new claim. And that would be like 2 or 3 clicks to get your back pay clock here. I call it back pay clock intent to file started. 2 or 3 clicks. But then that went away. And then it turns into, well, click here to go into this new website over on va.gov, and then click here 19 times, and then it's going to walk you from an intent to file into an application, which you don't want to do. That's a minefield, and then blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so It went from being 1 or 2 clicks to get your back pay clock started, and it was right there in front of you. Then they bury it. So I just know what the VA does, and I don't really worry about what the VA says, because if you had a horrible, lying, stealing, cheating neighbor, you probably wouldn't give 2 fucks about what they said. Right? Well, the VA is that person. They are stealing from you. They're stealing from all the veterans out there. Over $50 billion a month being stolen from our best veterans, and you're one of them. So again, I'm gonna leave on this. Go back to the video number 1. Pay yourself first, and see you on the next video.